we go.
Nice. Synced.
Good morning, James.
What's up, dude?
Just
How was your
record a
weekend?
podcast. It hasn't happened yet. It's Friday. Or Saturday.
Yeah.
My weekend's been going for exactly 3 hours. Because I've been up for exactly 3 hours.
Hey, long weekend, though.
Welcome to Double Dads, episode 3.
Welcome.
Today we're going to get into some topics here that I'm going to get in front of me so I can talk about them. We have some gaming news, tech news. We've got some fun stories from us being dads, having kids. And we've got some stuff about the channel, some changes we've been making, some technical difficulties.
Yep.
And then we're going to talk about some other stuff, some other hobbies and interests. There's lots to talk about.
Yeah. Well, how was your week?
It was good.
First off.
It was good. I'm trying to think of something that I did that was noteworthy beyond just my day job and taking care of a baby. We'll get into some fun kid stories, but my life has consisted of mowing the lawn and working on the house, raising a baby.
Yep.
Dad stuff. Dad life. And then some Elden Ring here and there on the Steam Deck. Still going on it.
Highlights, Elden Ring.
Exactly. Still going. I'm trying to finish as much as I can. I won't be able to finish it before Starfield, but finish as much as I can before Starfield comes out, which at the time of recording is in 3 days.
Is it?
I'm about halfway through Elden Ring. So what are my odds of finishing that game in 3 days?
Do you know, can you play on the Steam Deck yet?
Apparently, it runs at like 20 to 30 frames a second.
Ugh. And that's with like low graphics or
that's
what?
on like lowest using like FSR upscaling. So I don't think I'm going to be playing it natively on the Steam Deck. It runs. It's possible, but it's not the nicest experience.
So what are you going to do?
I might do xCloud. We'll try xCloud.
Through the Samsung TV?
Or through the Switch, the Steam Deck.
Oh, yeah.
I could do it through there. It'll work on both. So I might try both of them because the subscription will work on both. So I can use my Samsung Smart TV or my Nintendo Switch or the laptop I'm on or my phone. So I'll try them all, and I'll probably be using the Steam Deck because it's got a controller built in. But
Yeah, I should see if I can stream it through my Samsung TV.
yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be cool. Although I feel like it's just got to be so janky, right? Or like laggy.
I know it depends on your internet.
Yeah.
And that's something that would be interesting. Maybe we can get into it and talk about it on like the next episode. Because next episode, Starfield will have been out. We can try it on xCloud. We can see what it's like. Because we have decent internet here. We can try it on a few different systems and see what works and see if it's actually a playable experience. Yeah. Because I haven't tried it for a while. Maybe it's better. And this is their big push, right? Starfield is day one Game Pass release. So they're like...
Wait, it's Game Pass?
It is.
No way.
Yes.
No way.
On September 5th, you can play it on Game Pass. So that's what I'm
a Game Pass member.
Perfect. Well, yeah, you got to try it. You got to try it.
Well, yes. I'd have to stream it, though, because it's not supported on my Xbox.
Right. Can you do xCloud or Xbox Live streaming, game streaming from your Xbox One X?
I don't know. I'll have to look it up.
Will it let you play a game that's not compatible with your system using the internet?
Right.
That'd be really interesting if they had like your console sucks. Here's an option. You can still you can play these new games by streaming them.
Here's how to bypass your console while using your console.
I guess if not, you can still pair your controller to your TV and play through the Samsung app, the Xbox app on your Samsung.
Yeah. Other gaming news. Did you hear about this? Call of Duty is adding AI to their game chat.
So what does that mean? I had never heard of this.
It is to lower toxic game chat behavior.
Oh, is it like filtering?
So it's AI that, depending on your game chat, how you talk, can ban you from like up to an hour, a day, week, even indefinitely, permanently.
So if some kid gets on there and just starts typing obscenities in full caps in the chat.
No, through the game.
Oh, it's voice chat.
Through the mic. It uses AI to listen to your mic.
So that 12-year-old that said unspeakable things about my mom on Xbox Live, he would get auto-banned.
Hey, if it bans all 12-year-olds from Call of Duty, I'm for it, because screw those guys.
We've all had Xbox Live experiences like that. It's hilarious. That's really interesting, though. I'm curious to see how that goes, and if it ends up being like way too heavy-handed, and like Like that sounds really,
Yeah.
really aggressive.
It sounds really aggressive. Like, and I'm for like making sure people are nicer, but part of the fun of like being in the Call of Duty game chat is how toxic it is. And how toxic you can be without like feeling bad. Like it's just built into the game. It's what it is. You know, you get on there.
I think it's more
you need to be prepared to be cursed at.
I think that's more what it's become and not what it is. Like, yeah. I think because for so long the Xbox Live chat was like 14-year-old degenerates. That's like what it's.
Now they're all 28 and they've learned a bunch of new words.
It's the same people. It's just been 10 years.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how that affects the game. And does this just mean like no one's going to use game chat? They'll all have their Discord servers where they're just screaming at each other instead.
Right. But then people want to be toxic, and when they stomp on you in Warzone and stuff, you know, kill you, and they want to like let you know.
I'm leaning towards liking this as a feature at the moment, depending on how aggressive it is. Because I'm maybe I'm the opposite of you. I'm like, I just want to have fun, guys, and like not be verbally abused.
Yeah.
So I almost always, by default, I just disable in-game voice chat. Like, if I'm in a lobby, I'll click down the right stick or whatever it is to mute all.
Yeah.
And the few times I haven't done that, I still remember.
Yeah. Remember how many times I was called gay?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing they're going for, right? They want to cut that out because it's got to be a thing where like, you know, Coca-Cola wants to advertise and they're like, we can't because every game clip on YouTube has this like all this filth in the game chat, and like we'll fix it with AI. So, but AI historically has not been the best at that,
right?
Like it's probably gonna just pick up like people just saying normal things, and it just assumes that's like a swear word, and just immediately bans.
It's gonna be touchy, like especially at first.
So there's probably gonna be just a ton of backlash. I bet.
Yeah.
First off.
Yeah.
And then, depending on if it's actually good or not, like if people who are just minding their own business playing the game get perma-banned for no reason, like they could lose a lot of business over this too. Like the next Call of Duty, people will be like, yeah, I'm not going back to that. I'll get banned. Right. For not doing anything. So if it's effective in what it's trying to do, which it most likely won't be, come on. Like how often does this kind of thing actually work? Never.
Yeah.
This will be the first time in history that AI has helped like filter the chat and stuff. Like, I don't think so, but
yeah, it'll be interesting. A lot of people are really upset over it.
I'm sure.
And I understand.
Do you know when, like, which game is getting this? Is it going to be Warzone or is it in Modern Warfare 3? Do you know?
I don't know. Okay. The news like just released this last week.
Okay. I hadn't even heard about it, so it must be pretty new.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm guessing it has to be like their newer games that haven't come out yet.
Probably going to be.
I'm sure that'd be a lot of work to implement it into their previous games.
I bet it'll go into Warzone and starting with Modern Warfare 3.
Sure.
Yeah, and going forward. Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's the kind of things you got to think about when, like, suddenly Activision has this game that has millions and millions and millions of people playing, and they're like trying to run a country. It's like they almost need like a government to run this because there's so many people. Like, there's more Call of Duty players than there are in some countries in Europe and like third world countries.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's got its own economy almost and its own cultures. It's so weird when it's at that kind of scale.
Yeah.
But all I know today is that Call of Duty chat is toxic. Maybe this will solve it. It'll be a squeaky clean place for my kid to go play someday in the future. But probably not.
Let's just say there will be a bunch of new words added to the English language in the next year.
Let's see.
Trying to get around this AI chat.
Let's see how creative the terrible people on Xbox Live get. Oh man.
Yeah. What's up with this Lenovo?
Yeah.
What is this?
Speaking of gaming news,
never heard of this.
Gaming tech. I saw a video about this new. I love handheld gaming. I talk about the Steam Deck in every episode of this so far. Probably episode into the future. I'll be advertising the Steam Deck. Because I love the fact that it's handheld and I can play PC games. My Steam library was available to me and I can play these AAA games. Most of them, some of them, Starfield, aren't going to run as well. But So I'm curious to see what's out there for new things.
Interesting. So it's like a Nintendo Switch almost.
Kind of. And this is where I want to talk about it because it's really interesting because it's not exactly what you'd think when you see detachable controllers. So for those who haven't seen this, the Lenovo Legion Go is a Windows handheld portable gaming device. And if you've seen the Steam Deck or the ROG Ally, same exact concept, but it's a different design, bigger screen.
Yep.
And the controllers detach. And they don't detach to be used like a normal controller, just not connected. So what you do is you detach the controllers. It's got a kickstand. Drop it on your desk. The left controller turns into just a D-pad joystick. So it's for like WASD for walking around. It's just like the left half of any controller.
Yeah.
But the right half has a little mold you put it in, so it's sticking upright. And you put it on your desk, and it's a mouse. So you can move it around like a mouse.
What?
For like shooter games.
No way.
And apparently it's really good.
No way.
So you use it like a mouse, and the other one becomes your keyboard, basically. So you've got your movement, and then your mouse aiming, and then you can prop it up on the desk. And apparently for playing like FPS games, it's as good, or almost as good if you get used to it, as using a full mouse and keyboard.
So then do you have like A, B, X, Y on your mouse?
Yeah.
Joystick for like your
buttons on
jump
the mouse
and stuff? Okay.
Yep. It's got all those buttons, but it's like the right half of your Xbox controller. It's like the same functionality, but as you move it, it's a mouse and it's on the tabletop.
Okay, that sounds pretty sweet.
I know,
that sounds
sweet.
really cool.
The only thing is the device, at least the pre-production version I saw, it is not a pretty looking piece of hardware. It is a big, thick block.
It's very square.
Yes, it is. It's like rectangular. It's a thick piece of hardware, but maybe that means So you're looking at a picture of it now, and we'll have it up on the screen. But that's a mouse, and you can move it around.
That's crazy.
It sounds like a really cool concept because that's the one thing about the Steam
Looks like
Deck.
it has a touchpad too.
It does have a touchpad. Yep.
Interesting.
So it's got a trackpad on the right side. So it's interesting because the Steam Deck has the two trackpads, which are fine. But for shooter games, it's not nearly as good as a full mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
I can't get nearly as good at Call of Duty on there because it's a controller.
Yeah.
And even the mouse pads, maybe I could get used to it, but it's not the same as a full mouse. So this is a way to have that with you attached to the console. So I think that's sweet. You could go to like a LAN party, a gaming party, drop that thing down in front of you, and then have like a full setup without having to bring extra hardware.
It actually looks like a decent sized screen too. You
Yeah,
know,
I wonder-
especially when if it's not gonna be handheld, it's gonna be placed in front of you. You're gonna need a little bit bigger than a
I agree.
7-inch screen.
I'm pretty sure it's 1080p as well.
Nice.
So it's good. I don't know anything about the specs or the battery. I don't know much about that, but I'm trying to look up the screen size right now. Display is 8.8 inches, 144 hertz. So it's high refresh rate.
Nice.
And 500 nits brightness. That's pretty good. That's about the same as the Steam Deck, I think.
Okay.
2560 by 1600 resolution. That's good. That's higher than 1080p. That's like higher than 1440p.
Wait, what was it?
2560 by 1600.
Ooh.
So that's like 1440p, so 2K.
Yep.
But then it's like a 16 by 10 aspect ratio, so it's a little bit wider.
Nice.
So
Nice.
That looks like a really cool device. I don't know what it's going to cost yet, or if they've even advertised that.
It seems like Lenovo is gradually trying to get more and more into gaming with their devices. Do you feel that way? I feel that way.
I think they're trying to compete with Asus.
Because didn't they release like that gaming mobile, like gaming phone that was supposed to like compete with the ROG?
I do not know about
I'm
this.
pretty sure.
The Lenovo Legion Phone Dual 2. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I remember
that thing
this.
was sick.
I remember this. And it had two charging ports, one on the side and one on the bottom.
$1,000 on eBay.
Jeez. I remember seeing that because it
had built-in triggers.
That's right. Had like those capacitive buttons on the outside.
Yeah.
Super cool idea. I remember it had the thing about this was it had dual batteries. So it had two batteries and had two ports. So you could plug it on like USB-C on the side, USB-C in the back. And if you plugged them both in, it would charge at double speed because it's going to the two different batteries. So you got like super fast charging out of this thing.
Yeah. I can't believe for how much I was into Call of Duty Mobile, I never ever bought a gaming phone.
I
And
know.
I was this close to buying it.
I am surprised you didn't either because you were big into COD Mobile.
I think the only reason I didn't was most of you guys stopped playing Call of Duty early enough that I decided it wasn't worth it for me to buy a gaming phone.
You would have bought one if your friends had stayed on the.
Oh,
stayed
absolutely.
playing.
So I could have beasted them more.
That's true. You were definitely the best COD Mobile player out of all of us that played
I
on the
was
go.
actually pretty good.
Gaming phones are really interesting because I feel like they're really good hardware,
Really good hardware.
but they just don't have the games I would care to play. You know, like
Well, that's the downfall of mobile.
yeah.
The games can only be so good. You
Well,
know,
the hardware is good enough. Like that, I guarantee that Legion phone has better specs than a Nintendo Switch.
probably.
It's probably almost approaching something like a Steam Deck. You know, it
So-
could run Skyrim no problem, but
Why isn't the development on mobile games more intense? I feel like they're all like kind of mediocre. When the devices themselves are so powerful, they're not like creating games to like match the power of the phone.
I have a theory. There was a time way back early on when smartphones were first becoming a thing that like I remember the first iPhones had really cool, unique games.
Mm-hmm.
They're mobile games, but they were really interesting. And I remember this golden era where it was 99 cents or $3 for a game and you'd get the whole game and download it and play it offline. Like on my iPod Touch, I'd download Zombieville USA for $1 and I'd play that for hours. And then now, I think the reason that they don't have big budget games ported to phones is because they're making so much money off these mobile, just shovelware clones.
Unity.
It's yeah. So mobile games are they're just becoming whatever sells the most, and that's become like these like auto clicker, just like dopamine feed games where you just press a button and just bright colors and gems fall out of the sky. And then like if you hook up your credit card and do a $50 in-app purchase, like gems rain down in front of you.
Dude, you could totally play like imagine playing Age of Empires on your phone. Wouldn't that be sweet? And you totally could.
Mm-hmm.
Easily. No problems.
The only thing I can think of is that they're not doing that because they don't expect it's going to sell well enough to justify the cost of the development to port it. If they can have two developers, I'm speaking off the top of my head. This might not be true, but you know, if you could have two developers code a Candy Crush clone in 2 months that sells millions of dollars of gems, then why would you pay a whole team for months to port Skyrim over when it's going to sell half of that?
Yeah.
Like, I imagine that's kind of what's going on, but I might be wrong. I would love to see some more AAA, like big budget games ported over to mobile. And we're seeing some of that.
The only ones that have done that is Call of Duty and PUBG.
I was just going to bring up like Warzone Mobile is coming out. And it looks like
that comes out November 1st or something.
I'm excited to try it.
November sometime.
I think so, if I recall.
Yeah.
It looks like a 1-to-1 clone of the console game.
Yep, with just scaled back graphics.
Which, that's what I'd love to see. Like, I was not excited for Warzone Mobile because I expected just a clone of what Call of Duty Mobile's Battle Royale mode is.
Hey, that's a good mode.
It's fun, but it's definitely a mobile game.
Yeah.
And it kind of has a mobile game feel to it where everything's kind of floaty and everything's a skin, you know, because it's free to play and they're trying to make money that way.
Yeah.
Warzone Mobile is, I mean, similar idea, but like the animations look really good. I noticed that immediately.
Yeah.
Like in the gameplay videos of that already, it's like animations look like they're on par with what they're doing with PC and console, which is really exciting to me because that's the kind of thing that usually gets just skipped over at mobile.
What's pretty crazy though is Call of Duty Mobile gets a lot of love. Every 30 days, there's a new update with new content, new guns, new equipment, every 30 days.
Wow.
And this has been happening for 3 years now?
Yeah.
Like,
not long.
I remember I deleted the app, I don't know, a couple months ago, but when I looked at the size, I had like 36 gigs. That's like how much space it took up.
That's so big.
And what I love about it too is it's like the best of all the Call of Duties in one app. Like it has all the maps, the best maps from every other Call of Duty, has all the best guns, stuff like that.
That's true. It is interesting that they're kind of gathering all those bits and pieces from other games and sandwiching them into COD Mobile.
Yeah.
It's like, um, I think COD Mobile's fun for a little bit, but it still feels like a rush. Like, just something feels kind of jank about it to me. Like, the textures are good, the graphics are good, but like animations feel a little clunky.
Yeah.
Things are kind of stiff or like snap into place, and but then you can go play like a Black Ops 2 map with a Modern Warfare 2 gun and as Captain Price. It's like
as a robot.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Or as an anime character.
So part of me feels like COD Mobile is where all of the popular things from previous Call of Duties go to die.
Oh my.
Whoever, I forgot his name, but whoever was the protagonist of Advanced Warfare, you can probably play as him in COD Mobile, but no one knows who he is. And they just ported him over to COD Mobile because they wanted to shut down the servers for Advanced Warfare.
He's still alive over here.
But regardless, COD Mobile is it's good fun to jump into every now and then.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So anyways, mobile PC gaming is interesting because now we're seeing console games kind of coming closer to mobile, where you can either stream it from xCloud or you can play it natively on something like a Steam Deck. As we see those kind of catch up to the Switch and become usable gaming devices that can play Windows games and stuff.
Yeah. The other thing is they probably never ever will port these AAA games to phones, even though they could, is because it'll make their consoles and like handhelds obsolete.
It's true. The moment you can put it on a platform that just people keep upgrading once a year anyways, like Xbox doesn't get money when you buy a new Pixel phone or a new iPhone. They get money when you can't play Modern Warfare 3 on your Xbox One X and you need to buy an Xbox Series X or Series S.
Yep, absolutely.
Suddenly they're getting money. If Modern Warfare 3 was coming out on Google Play, there's no way you'd buy a new Xbox.
Yeah.
You can just play it on your phone.
Yep.
It's all some shrewd business practices that they know exactly what they're doing. And this is why Call of Duty makes so much money. And it's also why gaming is getting so much, like so many good games are coming out because there's so much money there. People are playing games. It's a big thing that's only getting bigger year after year. And so I understand that they're trying to get you to buy more Xboxes, but that also means there'll be more gamers buying more games and we'll get better games because of it.
Right.
And more people can get jobs in game development. And suddenly that career path is much more relevant. And so gaming growing is not a bad thing, but it's interesting to see some of the business going on around that. I like watching what happens and like trying to peek behind the curtain a little bit. Yeah. Be like, Phil Spencer is really excited about Starfield. Did you see that clip of Phil Spencer? You know who Phil Spencer is?
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, Phil Spencer is CEO or whatever his title is, but head of Xbox at Microsoft. And there was a clip of him at an event somewhere. I think it was like, it may have been, what was that recent gaming show that just happened?
E3?
No, not
Bethesda
E3.
showcase? Gamescom.
Gamescom. Yep. Yeah. So Gamescom happened, and I think it was here. But there's a clip of Phil Spencer, and they're like, "Are you excited for Starfield, Phil?" And he's like, "Yes, it's so much fun. I've put 200 hours into it.
I saw
I'm
that.
on my 15th playthrough." And it was like, maybe he was just tired. It was the end of a long day, but boy, he seemed desperate.
Yeah.
Like I was watching that, and like I heard him saying like, "Buy Starfield, please subscribe to Game Pass. We haven't had a hot Xbox game in so long."
Right.
This is our moment. We finally have a new release that's on time. Not on time. But
a lot of people are pissed. They're like, Xbox is going to make Starfield their new baby and it's going to take place over Halo. And I'm like thinking, no, because Starfield isn't a live service game.
Right.
I mean, they'll do updates and patches, but it's not their game for the next 10 years,
Yep, I'm sure they're looking for an Apex competitor, a Warzone competitor, something that's a live service game that they can sell microtransactions on.
Yeah.
So
and
although
they're not
technically they own Warzone now, or they're about to, and Starfield.
Yep.
So I don't know, was Phil Spencer just like, fine, if 343 can't ship a game, we'll buy all of Activision Blizzard so that they'll make games?
Yeah. We'll just buy games instead of creating new ones.
We obviously can't produce our own games, so we'll just buy the companies.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's interesting to see. Like, I don't know what I think about the Xbox Activision, acquisition of Activision Blizzard yet. That seems like they're just taking over the world, but I don't know.
I don't mind. For one, I'm Xbox fanboy.
Yeah.
Screw PlayStation. But, but
I am offended.
I know. But I am worried that like by doing this, they're limiting their budget for their own games, such as Halo and stuff, you know, where they're going to own all these other games. So what's going to happen to their own, what do you call it? Exclusives.
I know.
You know, well, are they going to have time to put work into that when they're focusing on all these other AAA games that they just purchased?
Yeah. See, that's what I don't know. It could go two ways, I feel like. Either they're 100% focused on Activision Blizzard's games and Call of Duty is their new push.
Yeah.
Or they have enough revenue coming in from Warzone where they can just let that run on its own and then pump funds into 343 or someone else to make some new exclusives or some new Halos.
Right.
And have like a ton of money to do that. Hopefully this means more cool games for us. That's like what I'm hoping at the end of all this. Oh, but it could just mean everything's going to become a live service game. And, you know, we can sit down and we have a choice between Warzone or Apex or some other clone of that game, and the dystopian future that we're all dreading is going to come true, where our internet console is only internet based and we can only play these internet games.
Yeah.
You know? So we'll see what happens with all that. The world game is an interesting thing, but regardless of how Starfield is when it comes out, I'm happy to see a single player game drop. Like
right.
A single player RPG that
drop on Xbox as an exclusive.
Sure. I don't know if I like exclusives, but they can have it.
I do.
We should get into that next episode.
We will.
Exclusive with no exclusives, because I'm all like open, like let's get it on everything. But maybe there's an argument for exclusive games. Maybe exclusives help gaming stay relevant. Mm-hmm. Tune in to episode 4.
Well, it's the only reason for you to buy a Xbox over PlayStation or PlayStation over an Xbox is their exclusives. You know?
Yeah. Let's go into that in depth. Maybe in a future episode.
We will.
I want to talk about first I want to tease an upcoming piece of content. I was going to talk about the Steam Deck during this episode and go into some in-depth stuff about what I like about it. I'm going to spin that off into its own video.
Okay.
So look for subscribe to Double Dads so that in the future you can catch my probably too late to be relevant Steam Deck review a year and a half after release from the perspective of a young father with a baby and a home and a family.
Yep.
And how I've been able to use the Steam Deck to bring gaming back into my chaotic life in a way that lets me still be there for my wife and kids.
I like that. Good? Yeah.
All right.
I'm excited.
So that'll be something coming in the next couple weeks, but I'm working on a concept for that video now, and I'm looking forward to putting that together for Double Dads.
Nice.
Speaking of kids, I've got a funny story from this week. My son Liam is turning 5 months on soon.
Dang.
I am so bad with like dates and doing the math back to when
he should be walking by now, you know.
At 5 months?
I'm kidding.
He'll be crawling soon. He wants to crawl.
Does he roll at all?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
He'll roll. If I set him down, we cannot put him on anything with a ledge. Like I don't, because if I set him down on the couch for a half second, he starts spinning.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just normal baby stuff. But so he's our first baby, and he loves the attention that he gets. He loves it. And if he doesn't get all the attention that he wants,
Only child.
yeah,
He's an only child.
at the moment, if he doesn't get 100% of me and Hannah's attention all day long, he will get upset. And he's been doing that in just interesting ways, because I can kind of tell the difference between he's crying because something's wrong and he's actually hurt, or he needs a change, or he's tired, or needs feeding. Like there's a cry for that, and there's a cry of I'm bored. Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah.
You're holding me and reading books to me and playing with me, but it's not enough. I want to go on a walk. I want to go outside. I want to, and like, a new thing he's been doing, if he wants more attention from us, is he started fake coughing. Because he noticed, he's so smart. He noticed if he coughs, no matter what, if he coughs, we're there. We're checking on him. Because like something's wrong. Is he choking?
Yeah.
If he coughs, like immediately we just drop what we're doing and we go and check on him. Even if he's playing happily with his, like, he's got a, whatever you call that, the mobile he's messing with and his toys. And if we're like eating dinner, so he'll be off in the corner and we'll hear him go like this. It's so fake. It's so fake. And he'll like direct eye contact with us. He'll be like, and I'm just like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And it's so funny because it's so fake. It's so fake, but he knows.
I see through the lies of
and
the
even
Sith.
though it's even though it's fake, a part of me is
the
like,
lies of the Jedi.
A part of me looks at him like, is it? Because I'm so afraid that he found something small and he's like choking.
Yeah.
So he's playing to our fears as first-time parents.
Dude.
Because he's tuned in to the way we react to different noises he makes, and he's picked out the one that gets our attention and using it against us.
Dude, he's such a player.
Manipulative. So funny. So that's just part of the journey of raising a toddler.
Kids, and I'm pretty sure every kid does this. Parents, you'll know.
If you're a parent, you know. If you aren't, you're going to find out.
You will find out, yeah. Every kid finds a way to like cop out of things they don't want to do. And my kids, my son started doing this, and now my daughter has picked up on it, and this is what it is. And this generally happens over mealtime if they don't want to eat something. So say there's they don't want to eat their salad. I'll be like, you got to eat your salad. Let's eat. And I'll take a scoop and put it in front of their mouth, and they'll be like, Daddy, I'm cold. And so like their whole cop out is they can't eat it because they're cold.
Oh my goodness.
I don't want to clean my room. I'm getting cold, Daddy. So my son started doing this, and now my daughter does it. And now the new thing is at the table is I got to poop. I got to use the bathroom.
Oh, because potty training's happening.
Yes.
Right?
Well, no, potty training's over.
Okay.
But
so now they have a new excuse.
But if they don't want to finish their food and we have to force them to eat it, they have to go poop. They have to leave the table for a while. They can't be here.
Delay.
Dude, they'll find a way. I don't know how they do it. They just come up with these excuses. And it's so funny because it has nothing to do with food, their excuses. It's like, eat this nice hot soup. I'm cold, Daddy. I can't eat it. Well, then eat the nice warm soup so you warm up. It's hilarious, but
that's amazing.
Yeah.
I've noticed, I knew this beforehand, but having my own kid, they are way smarter than they let on.
Oh, yeah.
And they're way smarter than you realize, or that like other people can tell. Like they're over there like goo goo gaga, drool spilling out of their mouth and poop flowing out of their butt.
I'm an imbecile.
Like all this stuff. But at the same time, they're like cluing into emotional things going on between their parents. And like finding avenues to escape discomfort.
Dude.
It's like, what? How are you? Do you have the emotional intelligence to like understand that you can cough to get out of things, or like say I'm cold or I need to poop?
Yeah.
And yet like you can like barely like wipe your own butt.
Dude. Yeah, for real.
It's interesting. It just shows that there's so much going on in like the human mind, like when you're developing. There's so much going on up here. Like even though like fine motor skills aren't quite there yet, like
Well, I say like
Emotional
ages
skills.
1 through 4, you learn more in ages 1 through 4 than you will in like your entire life combined.
That's what I heard.
Yep.
I heard something that's like 70% of what you know you learn those first few years.
Yep.
Because you're learning how the world works and like what it means to drop something on your face.
Well, think about it. You learn how to eat solid foods.
Yeah.
You learn how to roll over.
True.
You learn how to sit up. You learn how to crawl, how to walk, how to talk,
That's true.
how to cope with being bored, you know,
Yeah.
how to deal with pain, you
Yep.
know,
Physical and emotional.
how to communicate with your parents, how to communicate with your siblings. You know, it's
That is
crazy, man.
true. That is true.
And these aren't like big things. It's not like you and me, I want to learn how to play Starfield.
Yeah.
You know, this is like huge. Like,
It's true. This is, yeah, it's stuff that they will continue to use for the rest of their lives.
yeah.
So that's, yeah, it's interesting. And yeah, as time goes on, like those kind of core, like people skills, I have not relearned any of those. Like, you know, like the skills that I've learned in the last 6 months are how to start a podcast.
Right.
And like why you need to have the settings on the mic in such a way where it doesn't cut out.
What do
halfway.
hashtags do?
Yeah. Yeah. What's a hashtag?
Yeah.
What's an algorithm?
What's an external link?
Yes, exactly.
What's the missing link?
What's a Twitter and why is it X?
Yeah.
Oh, anyways, fun stuff, man.
Yeah.
This kind of is a segue into our next topic, but we want to talk about some items we use every day that are important to us and that are interesting to talk about. Speaking of kids,
Yep.
a new purchase for me in the last 5 months is a stroller and a car seat. And they are new purchases for me, and they have quickly become items I cannot live without. Because obviously you need a car seat for the baby. And a stroller is obviously nice to have, but this one in particular was a gift from some family members of mine, so I'm very grateful. But this is I didn't even know this existed. It's a car seat. You probably knew this all along, but this car seat has a thing that you strap into the car, like a little pan it sits in.
Yep.
And the car seat, you can put the baby in the car seat. It clicks into this pan in the car. So you can get him in the car, just click him in, pull it out of there with one, like press a lever and pull him out of the car. And then it clicks into the stroller and sits in there too. So you can go from the car to the stroller, back to the car without the baby having to move. He could be asleep the whole time.
Yeah.
And I was remembering back to when like my younger siblings were babies, and this was a while ago. This technology didn't exist yet. And so mom would unravel them from the car seat and lift them out, and they start screaming. And
Wait,
get into
your mom put your siblings in the car seat?
Yeah.
Not just on the
Oh yeah,
on the seat in the trunk.
This wasn't the 60s.
Yeah.
Where the baby was just rolling around the back seat with no seat.
But your mom was from the 60s.
That's how she was raised.
Yeah.
We were raised a little bit better, and then our kids, there's more stuff like that. So anyways, the world of like kid items and even like engineering on these products for your toddler, so nice.
Well, don't they have an expiration date on these car seats too?
They do?
I think so. It's like
I
you're
should look.
supposed to only use your car seat for like 4 years and then like get rid of it.
Really? Why?
I don't know if it has something to do with like the plastic itself.
Does it wear
becomes
down?
brittle or what? But
Interesting.
it may not be that way anymore. But I know like a few years ago they were like talking about how you should like switch your car seats out like every few years.
That's really interesting.
Not that anyone did. I don't think anyone did.
Well,
Especially when they cost what, $200?
yeah. If I feel like the car seat we have for Liam is starting to get brittle in a couple years, then I would. But that seems
It's excessive.
yeah. It's so hard to tell with stuff for your baby because am I just going to experiment? Like, well, we'll just see if he goes flying out of the car if I hit the brakes. Like, you know, maybe like, because is that just marketing and they want you to buy a new car seat because you should, or, you know, or is it because there's some truth to it? I'll have to look into that. That's really interesting. I had no idea.
Yeah.
What about you? You got some items to show, don't you? Show and tell on Double Dads.
Here we go. Number 1.
What do you got in
You're
there?
going to like this. Sorry to get back to gaming, but Xbox Elite controller.
Ooh, shiny.
Dude, I love this thing. Magnetic joysticks, magnetic D-pad. Comes with, well, it does not come with paddles, which is weird. You have to buy your own paddles.
Oh, okay.
But these are all magnetic. These are super cheap. They're like $10 or something. But dude, I love this thing.
I really like the color scheme, that Stormtrooper look.
Yep.
It's really cool.
It's really, really comfy. It's got like stippled grips. Literally the only paddles I use are these top two for jump and slide.
Oh,
that
perfect.
way I can just keep my thumb here, you know?
Yeah.
The other thing that's really nice is you can adjust the triggers. So I don't know if you guys can see that. It goes down pretty far, but I can set it to really shallow where I don't have to hardly press at all.
You can customize your trigger pull.
Yep.
Have like a hair trigger for Call of Duty.
Yep. Exactly.
Cool.
Exactly.
Let me see that.
Yep. So I love this thing. It's very expensive. It's like $150. But if you want to go to that next level of try hard gaming, it's definitely worth it.
Do you want to be the one shouting in Xbox Live instead of the one being shouted at?
Yes.
Get the Elite controller. It is really nice. It's heavy too. It's got some weight to it. It's actually hefty.
I keep it on a very high shelf so my kids do not start taking things apart, because they will. They'll take it apart. They'll lose those magnetic pieces.
That's really nice.
But yeah, I love that thing.
Man, I may need to get an
It's
Xbox.
got a USB-C.
That's really nice. You can charge it up.
Port. Yep.
Maybe I need to get an Xbox, man. Get one of these.
You should get an Xbox for real. Maybe that'll come down. That'll be part of our decision making when we want to start our gaming channel. What do we want to game on? Do we want to build a PC for each other, or do we want to just own a couple Xboxes?
That's something to consider.
Yeah.
Xbox is cheaper, but PC is more fun.
And you can play Starfield in 60 frames per second.
More than that, bro.
Yeah.
Go to 120.
More than 30.
Cool. That's a cool controller.
So, yeah,
I like
that's
it
my show and tell for the day.
Awesome. Let's talk about the channel. We've made some changes.
Yeah.
We can talk about some of the stuff we've been uploading and some of the things we've been learning, and then some of the reach that we've been able to do with new platforms and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's been an interesting journey because neither of us have really done content creation in the past. So we're trying to start this off from scratch using the equipment that we have, which is amounted to these blue microphones, these Blue Yetis, a couple iPhones, and some smart lights that I got from my basement for lighting. And it's been interesting to see the kind of things that get traction. Hashtag Call of Duty is like a big one, and especially because we're approaching Call of Duty Day, like Modern Warfare is coming out in a couple months, you know.
Well, if you look at like our most viewed shorts, our Call of Duty one, well, we have several, but the one has 467 views, and then the next one down, the next short is about fatherhood, and it's like 125. So Call of Duty, people are into Call of Duty, I guess.
Yeah. Gaming content is big on YouTube, and I knew that.
Yeah.
But so it's been fun to see the different things that get traction, and we've kind of got our spin on the gaming world where we're dads that don't have much time.
Right.
So we're like,
we can't just dedicate our full-time job to gaming, you know. We both have full-time jobs.
Yep. Outside
of the home, and you know, we game when we can. We can't just go and leave our family and our kids and, you know, putts. But
right. So it's been interesting to see because we have our segments. We've got gaming talk, tech talk, dad talk, and those things all have like different audiences. And but the process of putting a podcast together has been an interesting experience and a good learning experience. The YouTube algorithm is an interesting beast, and it's I feel like I'm learning more about the way it serves me content in my personal account, because I'm seeing our content be broadcast out to others. And like, it's interesting to see, like, why do I get a short in front of me that shows someone making espresso? Like, they know that I stayed on that short for a full minute because I like coffee.
Yeah.
You know, it's an interesting experience to put a podcast together, and get that out to other platforms. So I'll go into that in a second if you don't anything from your perspective to share, but we've got some new platforms that we can talk about too.
Yeah. I was just looking at some analytics here. I thought it was interesting. Our first 4 days was 100% age range of 18 to 24. Was 100%. And I think YouTube just needed to search a little more to like
That
divvy
was
out
also
the
like
percentages.
from we've never uploaded anything to 4 days worth of having one episode and a couple shorts.
Yep.
Not a big sample size.
So now the percentages have spread out a little more. 18 to 24 is 34%. 25 to 34 is 42%.
Interesting.
35 to 44, 16%, and 45 to 54, old people, 7%.
You just alienated that,
Yes.
that 8%. Yeah,
Those,
interesting.
yeah. And then 92% male, 7% female. Understandable. Double dads, you know,
Two dads
targeting the male audience.
Two dads talking about gaming.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep,
That makes
exactly.
sense.
59% US, which is surprising that it gets out
Global
more,
reach.
you know,
Mhm.
than the United Kingdom at 2%.
Yeah.
Canada, 1.9.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
just some interesting things.
Yeah. Regardless of
It's just very like, it's just interesting to see who's watching our content, especially within the first week. You know, we have a little over 1,000 views on our channel now. And
from the early days, we'll see how it goes from here. Regardless of where you are or who you are, thanks for watching Double Dads. Half of you, according to our statistics, are subscribed. So if you haven't subscribed yet and you like our content, give us a sub, give us a like. We got more coming.
Our content stretches beyond borders.
It's true.
It's more than just the US. This is relatable for...
I like that spin on it. That's like the corporate spin. Canada, 1%. Borderless. Global. So yeah, if you enjoy our content, give us a subscription here on YouTube. We like to take some clips from here and make it into shorts. That's been fun. So
yeah,
little tidbits here and there for you to grab and watch. We're also on Twitter at DoubleDadCast on Twitter. Check our content up there. Some posts going on. We're on Threads as well at Double Dad's channel.
Isn't that Facebook's new Instagram?
It is. No,
Wait.
It's Instagram's new Twitter, which is Facebook's Instagram's Twitter.
Yeah.
But actually, technically, it's Meta's Facebook's Instagram's Twitter.
Whatever.
They're all owned by the same thing.
Yeah.
Threads at Double Dad's channel, Instagram at Double Dad's channel. We're also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. If you catch your podcast content on those platforms, or you like to get your social media content on those other platforms, give us a like, a follow. And we got more coming soon.
Yeah.
So upload weekly is the plan. Weekly podcast episodes, and then more. We're planning to branch out into some more stuff. I talked about already my Steam Deck review. Soon I'd have some gaming hardware review, tech reviews coming up. Something that's shorter form than the longer podcast here. But the two of us have a lot of our list of hobbies kind of combines the Venn diagram of our two hobbies combines around gaming and tech. But there's lots of stuff that we like to do outside of gaming and tech.
Yep.
You're big into fitness. I've been learning a ton about DIY home stuff.
Yep.
That's all kinds of content that we can get into here on the channel. So stay tuned for more.
Yeah, let us know what you want to see. If there's something you're interested in, you want us to try it out or talk about it, let us know.
Absolutely. Drop a comment, ask us questions.
We're into trying new things, so yeah.
And that's part of the fun. So stay tuned for all kinds of stuff that's going to branch out from what this episode has been about. There's going to be more topics to get into. So thank you, James, for stopping by.
Yeah.
And thank me for stopping by for Double Dads.
Thank you for having us.
And thanks for watching Double Dads episode 3. Stay tuned for more. Like, comment, subscribe.
We'll see you later.
Double Dads, baby.
Woo!
Cheesiest crap I think we've ever done in my entire life. Want to go play COD?
Is it cheesier than Peace Out? Yeah, I do.
It's way cheesier than Peace Out.
Cold War Zombies?
Let's do it.